I know we've all had situations where we sat around and we looked around and we're like, oh man, whatever I just did was pretty stupid. I screwed up. Well, today we're looking at WWE wrestlers who instantly knew they effed up bad. I can't say the word this early in the video or YouTube is gonna spank me, and I don't like that. If you'd like to support the original upload of the content, please click the top link in the description. If you want to watch the videos with us live on Twitch and react with us, click the bottom link. You know where to find it. Young ones, get out of here. I don't react to content for the little ones. I use very colorful language, and I don't want you getting in trouble or hearing something you have no business hearing. If the algorithm has brought me to you, guess what? I'm hijacking your time for at least 15 minutes. I'm gonna drag this video out. I'm gonna pause after every entry. Yeah, you're stuck here with me, bub. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to stay here. But if you are staying here, let's get right into it. Me and the chat are ready. Are you ready? Let's go.
There are certain mistakes wrestlers make during a match or segment that can cost them dearly. These mistakes can either lead to behind-the-scenes tension, WWE
My man Kofi definitely did get fucked for quite a few years. We're not gonna talk about that whole losing the belt to Brock thing though. We're not doing that. Disrespectful.
management losing faith in that specific wrestler, or even from time to time, the wrestler facing a violent backlash. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 moments WWE wrestlers knew they just effed up. Number 10, Braun Strowman stiffing Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is considered by many to be one of the toughest and most legitimate wrestlers of all time. Therefore, it's never a good idea to be stiff with Lesnar in the ring, and Braun Strowman found this out the hard way in 2018. Strowman took on Lesnar and Kane in a triple threat match at the Royal Rumble event, and during the match, Strowman got carried away and delivered a stiff knee to Lesnar. Lesnar directly informed Strowman to slow the F down, and then he proceeded to legitimately punch Strowman right in the head. The punch looked brutal, and Strowman evidently got the message as he and
every time I see the shed slow motion, I gotta run him back, because you can definitely see. look at that angry Bobby Hill face, man. The angry Bobby Hill. That's some mink face. He's definitely making the noise with his own mouth. He's going mink, bro. He's doing the mink on it. Bro, the fucking... You see the fucking skull? Oh, man, look at that. Ooh, that shit 3D, ain't it? Yeah, that's some shit you can only see in slow motion. Yeah, that's... oof. Yeah, that's yours. That's yours. You can have that. That's yours.
Evidently got the message, as he and Lesnar never had an issue ever again. Strowman offered some fascinating insight into the altercation during an interview with TalkSport, where he mentioned, "We laughed about it afterwards. It is what it is. We got to the back and I said, hey, my bad. He said the same thing and we went about our business. We're both grown-ups, we both knew what we were getting into, and at the end of the day, we're both very dominant males and neither of us wanted to give in an inch, so in the end, we took an inch from each other." Number 9, Diamond Dallas Page failing to sell a comeback.
Taking inches
it's been well documented just how much of a colossal failure DDP's WWE run was between 2001 to 2002. DDP's first opponent during the respective run was The Undertaker, and whilst DDP certainly had the ability to hang with the dead man, one specific mistake resulted in his WWE run falling apart. During a live event matchup, it was DDP's job to feed the babyface comeback of The Undertaker. This is the spot which sees the babyface deliver numerous moves in a row, and the heel then takes several back bumps in quick succession. It's unknown why he failed to feed the comeback, yet due to The Undertaker standing in the company as a locker room leader, DDP was never looked at as a major player again. Shortly after this incident, DDP would be booked to lose to The Undertaker's wife Sarah on Raw, and after the feud had concluded, he would be moved dramatically down the card. Number 8, Paul London smiling awkwardly. Whilst the on-screen death of Mr.
All right, let me chime in before someone pops in with another disclaimer. So in another video that featured this, somebody debunked this whole smiling thing. They wrote at least 6 paragraphs about it, and I sat there and read them all. So if your thumbs are getting ready to debunk the video, I understand. Thank you. I know it was cleared up later. Thank you. Thank you very much. Carry on.
McMahon was supposed to be a serious storyline, one wrestler decided to go off script in the funniest way possible. This would be a mistake that would impact his career forever. Leading up to the demise of Mr. McMahon, McMahon would make his way through the backstage area and walk past virtually the entire Raw roster. There was a scripted direction for the WWE talent to show no emotion. However, Paul London decided not to follow this direction, and when McMahon walked past London backstage, he proceeded to deliver the goofiest grin ever. It was a miracle that London wasn't immediately released following the incident, yet it did alter his standing in the company, and McMahon and his closest confidants never looked at him in the same way again. Number 7, Wade Barrett and Dolph Ziggler breaking Mark Henry's pod. The 2015 Elimination Chamber match for the Intercontinental title is considered to be one of the worst chamber matches of all time, and a part of the reason for this is that a strong portion of the match was improvised due to a mistake. There was a scripted spot which saw Wade Barrett throw Dolph Ziggler into the chamber pod, however both men put too much force into the spot, and this mistake resulted in Mark Henry's pod breaking. This created an awkward moment as Henry was now...
He's like, yo, do I get out? Do I step out now? I mean, what am I waiting for? The fact that you can literally see Dolph calling spots when everyone's in the ring for like a good while. Like, all right, you do this, you do this, you do this. I respect the fuck out of Dolph. Because like, what the fuck do we do? What do we do about this?
Free to end the match, yet he wasn't scripted to enter at that exact moment, so everything just fell apart. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Ziggler discussed the dreaded mistake, and this is what the former world champion had to say.
I think Wade Barrett threw me into Mark Henry's pod at the Elimination Chamber, and I went, and it exploded the door, and Mark is standing there, and and he is not supposed to come out for 3 more people. And I'm laying there with like broken plastic on the ground, and I just hear the crowds come up and just start rumbling for Mark. And I go, oh my God, he's not supposed to be out here for 20 more minutes. And I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do? And I'm like laying on the ground, and I just see a boot go past me, and I go, oh no, what are we gonna do? And we had the craziest improv on the fly 15-minute match with 6 guys.
Number 6, Sim Snuka failing to catch The Undertaker. Sim Snuka had one job at...
That's a pretty big fuck up. This is one of those timeline altering ones right there too. It could have been worse than what we got. Oof. Oof. I know they got rid of bro ass immediately after that. Like, yeah, no. You're done. You gotta go.
WrestleMania 25, his job was to pose as a cameraman and safely catch The Undertaker when he performed his signature dive. Unfortunately, Snuka completely butchered his planned spot in the match, and this resulted in one of the most iconic wrestlers in all of WWE almost landing right on his head. The mistake cost Snuka his career, as he would be released just a few short months after this incident. It was a total miracle that The Undertaker didn't break his neck. And
yo, Taker is a fucking monster for leaping out of the ring like that. Why did he give so much? Jeez, like, he put all the trust in the world into, like, for you to be fucking completely vertical after clearing the ropes, like, why did you dive like this? Why did you dive like this? A literal leap of faith. That is a 6'10" man. Show the fucking no way, man. And if I'm jumping that high, I'm making a fucking cannonball motion with my body, bro. I got it tuck in. There ain't no fucking way.
Didn't break his neck, and WWE are known for putting these wrestlers in these types of roles as they know how to deliver them safely, yet this clearly wasn't the case on this specific occasion when it came to Snuka. Number 5, The Miz failing to catch R-Truth. One mistake made by The Miz during a match on Raw in 2012 was so bad that The Miz received a stern telling off from Triple H. The Miz took part in a 6-pack challenge match, and when R-Truth attempted a slingshot somersault, it was The Miz's job to safely catch him.
So, Miz. I feel like a spot like that, when you're trying to catch someone, you definitely don't have much room for error. So the more complicated you make, like the more moving pieces, you're definitely raising the the chance for something to go wrong. So if you got Shawn supposedly having to pull or push a cameraman, the cameraman got to drop the camera and catch Undertaker midair, is like, yeah, the whole spot is definitely insane. But there was zero reason to go for something like that.
Did a slingshot somersault, it was The Miz's job to safely catch him. But The Miz failed to catch R-Truth, and Truth had a truly horrific landing that could have resulted in a major injury. Truth.
Ew, shit. His head bounced. Well, they got like the mats down, right? Still, that can't be good for you. That did not be good for you. I didn't like that.
Failed to catch R-Truth,
I didn't like that
and
impact
Truth
at all. Yeah, this is worse than the damn try not to wince or look away videos.
Truly.
Hope he doesn't fuck up like that in the McGurky. You gotta carry the movie, bro.
Landing that could have resulted in a major injury. Truth was helped to the backstage area, and the concern was so substantial that WWE were forced to issue a statement. R-Truth performed a slingshot somersault over the top rope onto The Miz, who was outside the ring. Although the aerial attack glanced The Miz, R-Truth ended up receiving the brunt of the impact, falling back first onto the floor. At that point, the referee decided R-Truth was no longer able to compete, and WWE officials helped into the locker room area. WWE officials do not believe any injury sustained from the fall will keep R-Truth out of action.
The reference?
Of course, this was just a simple mistake from The Miz, but Triple H clearly believed that The Miz failed in his basic duties as a WWE star. Number 4, Mr. Kennedy drops Randy Orton on his head. And one mistake in pro wrestling is sometimes all it takes for a wrestler to be fired, and this was the case with Mr. Kennedy in 2009.
That's an
Kennedy
easy
had
way
just
to get
returned from
yourself
an injury
out
in
of
May
there.
of
You
the
dropping the top
aforementioned year,
star?
and during a 10-man tag match on Raw, he would deliver a back suplex on Randy Orton. Unfortunately, Kennedy made the mistake of dropping Orton on his head during the suplex, and Orton was absolutely livid. His anger was supported by John Cena, and this resulted in Vince McMahon deciding to let Kennedy go with immediate effect.
Oh, wow.
Kennedy would then later claim that Orton jumped too high for the suplex.
Man.
So as far as Kennedy is concerned, the mistake was Orton's error. Now Kennedy...
Damn. I remember Mr. Kennedy was like super over at the time, too. Two of the top guys coming at you like that does make it like a fucking setup. I'm being back because it didn't look like his head touched the mat though. It didn't look like it. He definitely put a whole lot of leap and put it that backdrop though. He definitely did jump up stupid high. Yeah, the fall on the head part, I don't see it. I don't see the falling on the head part personally. From this angle, it looked like he definitely... You might have got the wind knocked out of you from getting dropped like that, probably. But yeah, I don't know about that one though.
The mistake was Orton's error. Now, Kennedy had all the tools to be a future world champion in WWE, yet even his potential and his popularity wasn't strong enough to stop one simple mistake costing him his entire WWE career. Number 3, Big Cass, the beatdown. In 2018, one of the names that Vince McMahon was high on was Big Cass. Cass would embark in a feud with Daniel Bryan, and this feud was designed to elevate Cass and ultimately was intended for Cass to show the world what he was capable of. On the May 1st, 2018 edition of SmackDown, Cass will be involved in a now infamous segment with a mini Daniel Bryan. Cass was supposed to simply hit mini Bryan with a big boot, however Cass made a mistake that cost him dearly. He would go off script and continue the beatdown in a completely unexpected moment. This mistake made McMahon so angry that Cass will be released from the company, and this is what he had to say regarding his firing during an interview with Chris Van Vliet. I remember the day that I was fired. It was a meeting with Vince. Me and him and Mark Carano were in there for a while and we had a really good conversation. It was more a conversation about the performance was maybe touched up upon for a minute in terms of Big Cass, but that conversation was mostly about William Morrissey. I don't know why the future endeavors wasn't included. I don't look into that, but I thought it was amicable when I left the building that day. Number 2, Vader misses a key spot. Shawn Michaels didn't have the best reputation in 1996, and at the annual SummerSlam event, he decided to let one mistake cost another wrestler a chance at superstardom. On the show, HBK would wrestle Vader for the WWE title, and in a spot in the match, Vader forgot to move out of the way following an elbow drop. This was a simple mistake, and HBK should have simply moved on and not drawn attention to the blunder. In a super unprofessional moment, HBK berated Vader and kicked him right in the face. Following this mistake, Vader's push was immediately cancelled and Vader would cease being considered as main event talent in WWE. And number 1, John Cena forgetting to sell. WrestleMania 23 was main evented by John Cena vs Shawn Michaels for the WWE title. The match is considered to be a classic by many fans, yet HBK wasn't too happy with the quality of the match. It's vital that wrestlers sell in the matches, and when it came to Cena, he seemingly forgot to sell his leg throughout the match. This pivotal mistake angered HBK so much that he refused to shake Cena's hand following the match, and this was reportedly a legitimate shoot. The two would eventually work together multiple times in the future, and they would embark on numerous other classic matches. HBK was a perfectionist, especially during his second WWE run, and it was likely that he thought Cena's lack of selling hindered the match. But there you have it, folks. 10 moments WWE wrestlers knew they effed up bad. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
Man, this is nut. I don't know. That every time I see that Mr. Kennedy thing, it's like, well, what could have been? For me, I don't have object permanence outside of WWE, so like, I take a wrestler's word for it when they like retire or they get fired. Like, oh man, I guess he's not wrestling no more. Meanwhile, this motherfucker in Japan going crazy. In Japan, actually getting hella respect for finding a moveset. I guess he just don't exist for me no more. Say, yo, you know Mr. Kennedy is on TNA. Woo! Where? What the fuck is that guy? Like, but this is a dope video. If you guys want to check out the original upload of the content, please click the top link in the description. Show them some love. If you want to react to content with us live on Twitch, you know where to find us. Don't be a weenie. Young one, if you made it this far, I'm going to send a dog directly into your room that has not eaten for 8 days. And guess what? It wants flesh and or your soul. You shouldn't have stayed. You should not have stayed. You see what happens? I'm seeing a thumbnail that says WWE Girls Gone Wild and I'm about to click it. So I'm going to end this video here. And I hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next video if you don't disappear.
You can't hide from me.